Chapter 8, One King to Rule Them All. The Major Prophets, Part 2, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Daniel. The ups and downs of history can never derail God's determined plan. That testifies to His great love for the world generally and for you personally. Whereas Isaiah had prophesied in the midst of the divided kingdom and seen the fall of the northern kingdom of Israel in 722 BC, Jeremiah and Ezekiel were God's messengers near the fall of the southern kingdom of Judah in 586 BC. All three prophets saw the time coming when God would not only return His people to the land of promise, but keep His hand firmly on them during the dark days of the end times, the great tribulation preceding Jesus' return to rule from Jerusalem. Jeremiah and Ezekiel warned the people of Judah of their need to return to God and the consequences of their failure to do so. The prophets also captured God's heart toward the people, that they be renewed and revitalized by an intimate relationship with God, which would be made possible through His Messiah. Daniel's influential ministry happened during Judah's exile in Babylon, where God used him to provide interpretations of dreams and visions, as well as prophecies of God's ultimate hand on His people, both in the near and distant future. Drawing on Jeremiah's prediction that Judah would be in exile for 70 years, Daniel foresaw not only the people's return to the land, but the first and second comings of the Messiah, the one who would seal hearts in both Israel and the rest of the world to draw them into His kingdom. Unquenchable fire behind an unbreakable promise. Jeremiah, known as the Weeping Prophet, sent message after message from God to a nation that was swiftly spiraling down into exile. Few prophets capture the balance of God's holiness and love like he did, bringing the news of impending judgment with a heavy heart while promising a bright hope and future because of a coming king and a new covenant. Jeremiah and Jesus shared a heart filled with compassion for God's people, brimming over with the hope of redemption, a new day when God would fill believers with His Spirit, something made possible by Christ's work on the cross. The righteous branch. Behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, that I will raise to David a branch of righteousness. A king shall reign and prosper and execute judgment and righteousness in the earth. In his days Judah will be saved, and Israel will dwell safely. Now this is his name by which he will be called, the Lord our righteousness. Jeremiah 23, verses 5 and 6. As we saw in Isaiah, the prophetic reference to the branch signals Christ's second coming. Jeremiah saw this branch as the coming king, ruling from Jerusalem in righteousness and wisdom. His name here, the Lord our righteousness, is Yahweh Tzidkenu in Hebrew. It stands in direct contrast to the names of the four unrighteous kings of Judah whom Jeremiah had been addressing before this pronouncement: Jehoahaz, Jehoiakim, Jeconiah, and Zedekiah. Clearly, it states that the Messiah is none other than God Himself. The coming one will be the incarnate Lord. One day, Israel would no longer be plagued by poor leadership, but would serve the Lord their God and David their king, whom I will raise up for them. Jeremiah 30, verse 9. David's kingship pointed to Christ, and his name is often used in prophecy to represent the Messiah. Perhaps one of the most remarkable things about Jesus sitting on the throne as David their king, the greater son of David promised by God in 2 Samuel 7:16, is the line of succession that puts him there. Of course, being God, Jesus could just come down and take over and be justified and righteous in doing so. But God set up His royal lineage so that Christ would fulfill His promises of vast numbers of descendants to Abraham and the eternal establishment of David's throne, doing all of it according to the laws He established. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the case of Jeconiah, also called